Good morning. This is my dividend portfolio, and this is my very first attempt to look at my dividend portfolio. I'm in my 60s, and the point of this video is to show that somebody in their 60s can start a dividend portfolio. I started the portfolio roughly about 5 months ago, and the whole point of starting the portfolio with trading 212 was to see if I could. It was a challenge. It was a challenge to see if I could have or purchase 12 cups of coffee in Wetherspoons per year on dividends from a dividend portfolio. So that was the challenge that I set myself, and this is where I'm currently at. Around about 4 months later, I've currently got roughly about £800 in the portfolio at the moment. I started off with, I think it was something like about £15, and over time I've slowly put in every week just a couple of pounds. I haven't put in that much, some weeks a little bit more than others, and but I've just trickled a little bit of money in every single week. So this is my very first YouTube video, so I'm probably saying a lot of things that are not entirely technically correct, but just to go through my portfolio as it stands at the moment. I've got, which is my biggest holding, which is Lloyd's, which is 1.31%. I'm guessing this is out of 10%, but it looks at things, but I could be wrong, could be out of 100. And then I have, and the Lloyd's one, I have the second most amount of shares, but the most amount of shares that I do have is quite a funny story. So maybe we'll talk about that in another video. And I have that here. And I think this is done on how much money you got invested in them. So because I got ATO, and I've got more shares in that, but it's probably one of the smallest that I have, so it has very little money in it. So I guess that's how this is working. I've got then GSK, and recently all that they've done is drop in value. I've got Vodafone, and that's down in value, and on my portfolio. We'll look at these again in another video maybe, but not in this one. This is my very first video, so I just thought I'd just sort of set the scene about why I was actually doing the video, and why I'm trying to make enough money to buy my 12 Wetherspoon coffees, which are currently priced at £1.59, I believe, in Wetherspoons. So 159 times 12 is the target that I'm sort of looking for. if I can achieve that target, then for the whole year, for this year, for 2024, I'll be very, very pleased. And in 2025, I'm going to try and lift that target a little bit more. And instead of having 12 coffees over 12 months, I was thinking maybe the target I'm going to set myself will be something like 52 coffees over 12 months, and that would be a rather large difference in how much I need to make to get that amount of coffees via dividend. I'm very realistic on this. I'm not trying to become a millionaire out of it, and certainly that's not my goal. It's in my 60s. This is just for me a little bit of fun and a little bit of enjoyment, and that's all it is really. And so on that note, that's where I am with this current video. I'm not used to doing this, so I do apologize in advance for all the silly things that I'm probably about to say or will say during, especially if people are sort of proper investors. Then obviously going to see how funny what I'm trying to do actually really is. So yeah, so I do apologize in advance for those semi-professional investors that will look at my probably choice of investing will just be laughing and will think what a silly what silly stocks to actually invest in. So I don't know. The concept that I've actually come up with as well, which is quite kind of funny, is that I'm trying to get like quite a few shares that give a dividend every 4 times a year, so that would be quarterly, and then maybe a few shares that give dividends that are twice a year, and then eventually we'll have some more shares that have dividends once a year. Also, the only other thing that I'm attempting to do as well is that I do actually and have been doing buying and selling some of these stocks as well. I've also got a spreadsheet that I've created that looks at when dividend dates are coming up. So I will tend to sell some of the stocks at this rate, because I got such a small amount, just over £800, for any proper investor who's got maybe 20 or 30,000 in it. You'll soon realise that when I do buy and sell stocks, I'm making pennies, not pounds. So, and sometimes actually, also I'm with trading 212, and I've got interest on some of my assets. So, on that note, I'm also making a couple of pence every day, 1 or 2 pence every day, and maybe we'll look at that in another video. And that is slowly increasing. And of course, when I buy and sell shares, the realized profits has increased. I've had one piece of what I would call incredibly good luck with it, and that is with Direct Line Insurance. I bought some of that stock, and I think Aviva made an offer to take them over, and that stock just went really high. So I sold out that stock, and maybe in another video we'll discuss actually how much I made on that stock. Incredible amount, actually. I was incredibly surprised how much I actually made on that stock. So that may be something for another video. And yes, so let's get back to what I was looking at. I've looked at GSK, NG, National Grid. I've got some in there. VUSA, which is the only thing that I have that's not sort of UK stock based, and that is I've got that for one reason, is because I'm not I've just sold some shares, and that's interesting. It's just come up and told me I've sold some shares. I'll see if I've that one it's just popped off, but I've just sold some shares in it. But it's something that I really I was just looking at to trial, and at the moment what I'm doing is just trying things out and seeing what happens, and see how things go. I'll see if I can figure out how much I've made on that later on. If it'll be pennies, but it'll be interesting to see if I've made anything at all. So I will look at that. That's interesting. That's come up and sold off. Right, so back to this for today. I've got Vodafone, and I've got B&M, and I've got, it's gone up by 20%. This is ETOS has gone up by 20%. That sounds good news, and I've just sold some of those, and that's very good. Right, I was very surprised this has been recorded that I sold something. Incredible. Look at that. I've got AV, I've got HFD, which is Halfords. I've got TW, which is Taylor Wimpey, and I've talked about VUSA. That's the only thing that's like in like an index fund thing. We'll look at that again, but basically I wanted to get something of the American market, but I didn't actually want to do anything with it myself. I thought I'd stick with UK, so I just bought into that, and we'll look at that again. And BT, I bought a little bit into the. I bought this way too high, but not to worry. I've put at the moment. I've got such a little amount in stocks and shares. I'm not really that concerned, to be completely honest, whether I've bought slightly too high into them or not. From my perspective, if I put more into them in the future, it'll bring the average down, and that'll be absolutely fine. So not too bad. I've bought UK into like wind with the UK, and sort of renewable energy, and then PHP is like I think they call RITs or something, but that's like a for investing in property funds. So I've put a little bit into investing in property funds just for the sake of doing it. And so I'm not gonna say too much more today. I'll look at my stocks and shares in a lot more detail in the next episode or the next video I make, and but that's it for now. And I do apologize if I haven't been that good. I think this thing with YouTube is something about subscribing and ringing some bell or something. I don't know much about that, but and this is just fun for me. I'm just having a bit of fun doing this. So I'm in my 60s having a bit of fun doing this. So probably making a complete mess of this. But anybody who's interested in following what I'm doing at 60 plus, and how I'm investing, and just to get to pay for my coffees so I go with a friend, usually once a week, and I have a coffee in Wetherspoons and we have a chat, and I just thought it would be like a good idea to see if I could create a certain amount of stocks to get the amount of dividends that I need to pay for those coffees for the whole year. I've been realistic. The first year, obviously, I'm only going to do it for 12 months. So that's 12 cups of coffee. And maybe 2025, I'm going to try and do it for the whole year, which I think would be quite a challenge, to be honest. And but that just depends on how much I can triple into this. I think that probably what I'm putting in at the moment is probably enough for now, and hopefully within 2 to 3 years I'll probably be at the point where I'll be able to buy a coffee or maybe some lunch in Wetherspoons one day. We'll see. There's the challenge anyway. Anyway, thank you everybody for listening in, and this is my very first video, so it's probably going to be very badly put together, and I'll probably do it completely wrong. So anyway, this is it. So we'll see how it goes. And next time, I think we'll look through my individual stocks in a little bit more detail, or whatever stocks I have available at the time. So I'll put this off now. Thank you very much for listening.